हाँ 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 ठीक है बता देना। तो
अब हो रहा है।
वो क्या मानते थे वो और फिर
URL ना चेंज।
हेलो।
वी आर लाइव सर।
यस यस ओके ठीक है देन स्टार्ट फॉर द इंट्रोडक्शन एंड गो फॉर सेशन।
Here showing videos unavailable.
Hello, hello everyone. Sorry
Video
for the delay. Let everyone join and we will just start with it. Hello everyone. Like you can see, mm, like some of you have joined, others will join soon. Let's start without wasting. So you might know the Vector is a 1 month program. Each the classes would be live on each Saturday, and the timing will remain same, 7 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. The course structure will be like the live session and then a 15-minute time for question answers and then 15 minutes for the attendance quiz. The attendance quiz is mandatory for everyone to appear and like submit it. Only then will be marked as eligible for the final certificate. Out of 4 quiz, you have to submit at least 3, and same goes for the assignment. There would be one assignment for each week, and the deadline would be of next upcoming Friday. That is before the next session. The assignment will include solving a lab. We will be providing you a link, and then making a PDF of all the steps you followed while solving the lab. One thing to remember is that the lab will be only accessed using the mail you used to fill the form. no other email would be allowed. If someone use that email and then also he or she can't register, they can just contact the group admins for the same. So that was the general instruction. Now, as you know, today's topic is surface mapping, and today our speaker is Sachin Kumar. Like, he is the main mastermind behind the HackTools. HackTools is a Burp suite alternative which runs directly in your browser, and you can just perform like almost every action that a Burp suite can do using the HackTools. Sachin sir has experience in cybersecurity, DevOps security, and all cloud technologies, and he is a professional bug bounty hunter. Now, talking about the organizers, you all know Cybersecurity India, a non-profit organization, an initiative by Feathers CSI Foundation. And the second organizer is Vulnshields. Vulnshields is a technical community using like which provide uh, technical services like outsourcing and penetration testing. Next is MKITOS. MKITOS is us, the community of open source developers, which also provide outsourcing organization. The last one is OPSWAT Academy, which provides like UK-based company which provides certification, and you all might know. Now, if you have any question or doubt, you can just put in the live chat. Okay. Now, next to up to you, Sachin sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi. Thank you for your quick intro. Now I take over from here and try to explain you everything from the scratch. First of all, I introduce myself. I'm a Sachin, CEO and co-founder of Vulnshields. Vulnshields is a platform which provide you totally SaaS security, as well as we are educational in edtech also. We provide courses for a beginner as well as a advanced. We are also providing a feature, a Burp suite feature, like in a Chrome browser, that solve a lot of issue of a developer who don't want to use a Burp suite as the extra tool. They can use a hack tool. So yeah, as he said that if you have any issue, you can directly message into the chat or raise your hand. We will happy to help you. Yeah, we can start from the beginning. So how the web talks, how we break it, and how it get broken. So there is a couple of phase in this in the bug bounty hunting or in the cyber security when it's come to the web application pen testing. Uh, for a beginner, it is very surface level. You have to know about how the network work. You have to know about how the protocol work. What is the reconnaissance? How we can chain one issue to other issue. So in the recon process, you find lot of issue. Now you have to chain that recon into a lot of other different issue. So in this way, you can chain a lot of issue and start finding a real issue. Now I can share my screen and show you my PPT. Please let me know if it is seen on your screen. Gordon, can anyone confirm that?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Thank you. So yeah, this is my first page of my PPT. So the topic is how to a web talk. So let's discuss one by one. So yeah, there is a three part of one mental model. First, you have to, if you are a beginner, if you are starting today, how to hack a web application, how to hack API, how to hack Android, anything which is on the internet. If you want to hack it, you must know the networking fundamental. You must know the networking fundamentals. Basic things are OSI, TCP/IP, how TCP handshake work, how packet travel in the network. So suppose you send hi, how the hi message bundle into a packet and then transfer over the internet. I mean, internet means a network. Internet is just a big cluster of packet connected to each other. It's called a network, it's called internet. So how the packet actually transfer, how the packet actually move, what is a DNS, how DNS work, what is a TLS, these things we must know in the fundamental of networking. These are the one of the most important things in the field of cybersecurity, in the field of development, in the field of AI, ML, anything which you want to start, you must start from the networking. Second is the protocol and messaging. So how protocol works, what is the SSH protocol, what is the FTP protocol, what is the SMTP protocol, uh, how attacker read the first. Uh, there is a part third, which is known as recon. That is the ultimate path. That is passive versus active recon. There is a nmap, which is a passive, subfinder passive, STDPX passive, nuclei. Sometimes it is passive. Sometimes it is an active attack. So active and passive recon, we will discuss in the further discussion. And now the most important thing, how you use LLM model to in your hacking practices. So it is the most interesting and most dynamic things right now a hacker using the bug bounty. So in last 7 or 10 days, I'm aggressively using cloud for all my recon purpose, for all my dynamic testing also. So authenticate testing. Sometime when you log in the browser, try to try to take a cookie, and that cookie and try to take a cookie or curl request or particular request and send it to the cloud. So how you use that feature in the hack tool. So let's start from very beginning. The one of the most fundamental thing is that tools change but protocol don't. So the guy who passed in 1990, he also know about SSH protocol, he also know about STD protocol. And the guy who passed out in 2030, he also know about what is the SSH protocol and what is the TCP protocol. But tool may be changed. We are using subfinder to finding subdomain. Somebody in 2000, they know use a different tool to find out the subdomain enumeration. So do not focus on using tool. One of the best things which I can give you right now, do not use every time a scanner, or if you using any scanner or a tool, you must know about that, how the tool work, how the payload work. If there is no tool, how can I also use these logic to figure out the solution. So every scanner, every payload, every clever exploit eventually reduce the bit by traveling over TCP socket. So there is two types of socket. We will also discuss about what is a UDP socket, what is a TCP, these things in the coming slide. So there are totally 7 layer in OSI model, starting from application layer, ending from physical layer. In TCP layer, there are four layer. That packet is in the TCP handset. There is a SYN or ACK feature also, where packet transfer from one server to another server. They start traveling like SYN ACK. So we will discuss all this thing in a further slide. But I just want to give you more um, outcome, a more overview of these things in the beginning of this session. So how many of you know how the network work? So I'm also watching the YouTube live. So if you want anything, if I ask anything, please reply in the chat itself. So if you know how the network actually work, it is very easy for you to understand this. So actually, how the network works, this is your IP. How you find your IP? So you can go on your Google and type what is my IP, and you find your first link. speed. Probably I'm unable to see my whole screen. Abhay, it is lagging somewhere. I just shared my
Sir, there is
Chrome.
a delay in the YouTube live.
Acha, okay. Yeah. So when you type, so my voice is also lagging there.
And there is a 10-second delay in the Zoom meeting and YouTube live.
Oh, okay, fine. So this is the IP which you seen on your what is my IP domain, and this is your own IP. This is IP which is given by ISP. ISP is something. Think like ISP is an internet service provider. Some like a Geo, Airtel. These are the provider. These are the prominent provider in India. There's a lot of other provider also. Let's come back to our original slide. How a network is just a number or letter of queue. So I'm waiting for that the screen visual to you. The slide screen is visual to you. So right now giving some different things. So now screen is shared. So there is a source and destination address. If anything is travel from one place to other place, there must be a source and there must be a destination address. So suppose this is the source 192.168.1.42, and now what is this 54321? This is a port, and we discuss what is the work of port, what is the work of IP address. So these are the IP address along with a port. Now you send any packet, the packet goes to the router. What is router? Home router. The router which is given by ISP or ISP, whether it is where it is a Airtel or something like that. Now it travel. The packet travel to the internet, but how can it travel? It use a ISP like a ISP which is a backbone of any internet connection. Suppose think like that. You are Rahul and you want to travel from Bangalore to Patna, and you know that from traveling from Bangalore to Patna, you need a vehicle to go to the uh, Bangalore airport. So Bangalore, you are the packet. You are just like a packet who using a home router to travel to the Bangalore airport. After that, you take a airplane. That airplane is a ISP, and you take an airplane to land it to the Patna. Now you land to the Patna airport. From there, you need to go to anywhere, a specific place in Patna, like thing like Mahavirasthan. You need to go to Mahavirasthan. So this is the address of the Mahavirasthan, and now you also specify at which a store you want to give in Mahavirasthan. That store is known as port, the actual window, actual place where you want to go. So suppose Patna is a very big city, you do not need to go every places. You go to the some one a specific building in the first floor, and room number is 443. This is a room number, this is the building name, this is the room number, and this is the means of communication through which you are traveling from one place to another place. And these are the exact tool which you are using to travel. These are the first means of travel. These are the one of guy who connect you from internet. So this is the cab who connected you to the airport, thing like that. So if you want to, Any user facing any issue, please ask any question in between that. Okay, so how 7-layer work? Anyone know about OSI? What is OSI? How OSI work? What is the use case of OSI? If there is no OSI layer, what will be happen? What is the need of OSI? If packet travel from one place to another place, then what is this fancy word known as OSI to come in the place? Do you think OSI is really useful for any user or for us, or it is just a fancy word which is given by a Western country? Any idea about that? Anyone? So yeah, I will tell you what is the use case of this 7-layer known as OSI layer. So basically, when a packet travel from one place to another place, they follow some rule and regulation to travel from one place. And when the same packet receives somewhere, it also follows some rule and regulation to accept this. If that both rule and regulation, when it is sending and when the packet is receiving, are not same, the message get discarded or message get do not deliver from source A to source B. These are the use case of OSI layer. Why OSI come in the place? You can tell that OSI come in the place so that the message should be same in the sender address and the receiver address. There is no any tampering, there is no any drop, there is no any corruption occur in between traveling from A user to B user. For preventing these types of attack, we come up the OSI layer. So yeah, the OSI layer has 7 layers. First is application layer, the most important layer. In that layer, you just see the data, actually app data, which are showing on the on your screen. Sixth layer is I'm coming from top to bottom. So sixth layer is a presentation layer where all encoding, encryption, format negotiation works. So if you are encoding some data, you are encrypting some data for the security purpose, or for if you are encoding data so that it travel very fast in the network, encoding, decoding, encryption, decryption, these are the format. Or suppose that your receiver accept only zip data, so you have to encode in a zip so that your receiver accepted. Session management. So session management is very much clear by its name. It's manage the session. If you are sending any token from A to B or message A to B, there should be one session maintaining so that server accept your message, server accept your network call from that particular session. There should not be a every time when you send any request, the session get created. The fourth layer is transport layer. The fourth layer is a transport layer. Here, basically, all the connection is goes on traveling, port ordering, something like that. The third one is a network layer, actually, which is a logical addressing and routing across the network. So suppose that there is a 4 path from network, from packet can travel. Suppose that it is from A to B. There is two server A and B, and the packet want to travel from A to B. There are 4 paths: E, D, F, G, H, I, J, K. Now packet is confused. Which path do we are taking? Should I take? So that network layer help him to figure out that which path has less traffic, which path is more accurate, which path give you minimum effort to travel from one place to another place. Data link layer is just like a frame adjustment node, nothing more. Just convert your data packet into the frame and then transfer. Physical layer is a very least layer. It is on your physical devices, like not on the top of the devices. It's very on how the network your packet transfer into radio waves, how your packet transfer into the waves so that it travel from one devices to the other devices. These are the very top level knowledge about how OSI work. If you want to go deep, every layer have a lot of work around that. Every layer have a lot of explanation around that. So this is a very surface level knowledge to that. Hope so you can after this call or session you go and figure out everything about what is the OSI layer, what is the application layer, what is this presentation layer. Let's move to the next slide. Just waiting to that the next slide get visual to you. Meantime, I just want to see the chat. Yeah, I think next slide is visual. So if there is a OSI model, why the TCP/IP model is in the market? So the reason is very much clear. Why OSI is very lengthy types of protocol, lengthy types of way to transfer the packet from one place to other place, so that the TCP/IP model come in the market, and TCP/IP is just leading the market. OSI is just textbook. If you want to clear your examination in the university, you must learn OSI model. But if you want to clear your interview, you must know about TCP/IP. What is a TCP/IP? How TCP/IP work? There's only 4 layer. First is just TCP layer. Third is IP layer. Then is Ethernet layer, and then last one is payload layer. There's something which is a combination of OSI layer. First, seventh, eighth, sixth, fifth layer are combined to one. Fourth, third layer combined to something like that. It is a just combination of seventh layer to make down into 4 layer. Now, in the next slide, we will talk about how IP work. What is the IP? If somebody give you IP, what is the mean of IP? If somebody asks you, what is your IP? What is the actually mean of that? So, first of all, there is a IPv4, IPv6. What is IPv4? What is IPv6? What is a public IP? What is a private IP? What is a local host? What is a port? These are the most confusing part in the networking. So the simple answer is IPv4. IPv4 is just like a 32-bit. IPv6 is 128-bit. Just clear, nothing else. One size is small, one size is big. The address size is 4.3 billion because it is just combination of 32-bit for 128-bit. For right now, it is infinite, still rolling out. A lot of IPv6 IP is still in the park. They do not, and do not, anyone do not use that right now. But IPv4 is just finished. Lot of IP get exhausted by different big organizations. So right now, every devices which manufacture after 2000 17 18 approx, maybe I missed the exact year, but after that most of the application now working on IPv6 rather than IPv4. So what is the public IP and what is the private IP? So yeah, so what is public and private IP? So public IP mostly used by the name public actually, so that what is the public which internet can access that. If you want your devices, your application should access by the internet, that's come under the public IP. If you launch a EC2 instance, if you launch a AWS server and want that server should access by all the guy who available on internet, you should have a public IP on. But if you don't want to public that EC2 instance or server for the internet, that then we use a private IP. So private IP can be started from 10 and it goes on. Private IP can be started from 172.163 sorry 172.16.31.x. X here means from 1 to 254. That is subnet. Second one is 192.168 blah blah blah, that which is behind a NAT gateway. NAT gateway is something like, it is a gateway between with internet. So if you want anything to block from the internet, you should put it behind the NAT. So what is localhost? Localhost, something like, localhost means a local. Your device is your localhost, and your device has also IP, which is 172.0.0.1, and this is a my machine IP. It can't be changed. Every time you open your laptop, you open any server on your laptop, it's start appearing like 127.0.0.1. Port, I already said that port is the actual room of your building. So suppose that you're living in a building which name is 127.0.0.1, and port is that your room number. Suppose that I'm living in 154. 154 is my room number. So suppose somebody asks me ki, where are you living? तुम रहते कहाँ हो? So I said ki 127.127.0.0.1 colon 123. 123 is my room number, or 145 is my room number, whatever. This is my actual address. If I give this average address to anybody, they can reach to us. They can reach to me, something like that. Yeah, the last one is well known, which is a lot of lot of port which is reserved, which can't be used by anybody. So when you try to use a port like 80, 443, 22, 25, these ports are already used by somebody, so you can't use that. These are reserved. These are called into reserve port. So yeah, so if you run this command, this is for Linux. For Windows and Mac, you can go and figure out that on internet on Google. So when you list down that which are the processes are running on your laptop, they can give you like this. So this is the listen on the local host, that is 0.0.0.0. What is the 0.0. So 0.0.0.0 means it's allow all the IP IPv4 IP. If you want to allow that my server access all the internet call, so you have to all the internet call on port 80, so you have to allow all the internet IP. All the internet IP is known as 0.0.0.0. And if you want to that your server is SSH by, if your server is SSH by only all the IP which is available on internet, all the IP4 which is available on internet, you can allow 0.0.0.0. So these are different port. This is a SSH port. This is a Nginx port. It is Nginx, I mean server port, which is HTTP port. HTTP port is also known as server port or Nginx port. Anything Nginx, Apache, any server which is running on your any server which is running on your EC2 instance or Linux or any server. This is also 443. It is a secure protocol, nothing else. Last one is this is a Redis server, something like all these ports are reserved. Let's move to the next slide. The two way to send a packet. First is that very fast. Second is the very slow. Slow, but it should be in real order. Do not drop any packet in between that. For that, we are using TCP. So suppose you are sending some message from one place to another place, you must confirm that packet do not drop. Suppose that you send a hi, how are you on the WhatsApp, and if it reach to the hi, only hi, that it is not a good way to communicate. It should be reach every packet from one place to another place. In that case, we are using TCP. That is in communication. When you are communicating something, when you are delivering something, in that way, when you are delivering a file, you must use a TCP protocol. But then when we are using UDP, UDP are basically mostly used in live streaming, like when you are watching a IPL on the Hotstar, and sometimes you look that some buffering is happen, and at that time you can't see anything, but right next to that the Hotstar start giving you live streaming, because if something get dropped, Hotstar do not care about that. It's moved to the next part. So yeah, there is a next topic known as what is sync act. So if a client and server create any type of connection between that, they use a method known as sync. So this is a client, this is a server, and this is a sync. First request, it give a client give a syn, server accept and say, yeah, acknowledge that, please send the request. And now the client sends act request to that, and now connection established, and client and server start communicating. So come to the next slide. What is the headers all the way down? What is the IP header? What is the Ethernet header? What is the TCP header? Why these headers are really required when you start communicating? So these headers provide you the rule how your packet travel. Suppose that there is an IP header where it is written as what is your source ID, what is your destination, sorry, what is your source IP, what is your destination IP, what is your protocol, what is the length. The TCP header define you that what is the source port, what is the destination port, what is the sequence of, what is the acknowledgement. These are the most important thing which require in a packet, so that it transfer from one place to another place. One place to another place means one server to another server. So header are very important in communication. Now let's come to the next slide known as names in address out. So when you try to dig any uh, domain, you will figure out that uh, there is a lot of CNAME, there is a lot of record between that. So when you try to do a hacktool.vulnshield.net, you will find that there is a record, there is CNAME record, or there is MX record, there is TX3 record. What is this? Actually, what is this? How it's look like? So it are these types of things are configured on your uh, web provider level. Suppose I am using Cloudflare. Suppose Vulnshield use a Cloudflare for its DNS handling. So I'm using a Cloudflare, and I want to redirect my this server IP to the hacktool.vulnshield.net. So what I do, I go to the DNS record, I create a DNS record. DNS records are what type? A record. A record means a record which is in the form of IPv4. If there is a 444 A record, that should be in the form of IPv6. What is CNAME? CNAME is just like allies to another name. Suppose you have a load balancer domain which is very long, and it is in the URL form. That domain name is not remembered by anybody very easily. Then what should you do? You should put it as a CNAME record, so that anybody can learn, anybody can remember your domain very easily. MX is basically used for mail delivering. If you want to set up a mail on your domain, you can set up your MX. These are mostly given by mail provider, where it is a Google. If you are using a G Suite, they provide you MX record. If you are using some different mailing tool, they provide you MX record. TXT is just thing like verification, nothing else. It is also DKIM SPF verification, nothing else. let's discuss about what is encryption, how authentication work, what is the integrity checks. So encryption is basically when you are sending something, it should be received to the next person in the same form. Certification makes sure that your encryption working very well. There is no any tampering in your encryption, and integrity is there to check that your encryption and certification both are in the same state or not. That is a one surface level knowledge about these things, and it's very widely used in HTTPS. So your homework, you can go at your home and try to figure out that how encryption, certification, and MAC or integrity are correlated to each other. If we remove any of them, what will be happen? How SSL certification, how SSL work in HTTPS. These are the things you can note it down here, and go after this when the session get ended, you can go and figure out that how these things are working. There are a lot of video available on YouTube. You can learn from here also. Now the most important thing, what is the request and response? So let's move to the browser and learn about how the request and response work. So first of all, go and open the flipkart.com, or before that, you can go to the web store. Open the web store and type here HackTool. This is the HackTool. You can install in your Chrome. Click on Add, and it get installed on your Chrome. After that, go back to the Flipkart. And inspect it. And you will find HackTool here also. I already installed that, so that I do not reinstall once again. I have. This is my U8 HackTool, which I right now am also developing. A lot of features are not on production, but in this version I have a lot of advanced feature also. So I want to give you the full overview of the HackTool from here. So if you refresh this, you will find lot of requests coming from this Flipkart. So let's search and whitelist this Flipkart only request. So there is a lot of Flipkart request, and request look like this. This is a request. When you send, you get a response. Response is very slow. Then let's try another request which have some response. Same in this case. Let's choose fashion. Get somebody something. No, nothing. Probably not working. Choose anything else. Has good response. No. Let's go to some different domain. Which one? Any suggestion? Which domain should I go? Any
OPSWAT.
suggestion? So let's go to Udemy. Udemy recently get hacked now. Let's go to the Udemy. And let's try to hack the Udemy also. So let's scan all Udemy. Probably Udemy have GraphQL also. Let's do Udemy. Not any dummy website. Let's practice on live website. We are not doing any hacking here. We are just intercepting its request. Yeah, now we have a good response also. So let's think about that. What is the use case of this method known as get? Why we are using get? Why we are using post? Why we are using put, delete, patch, head, offset? These are just a method which are using us to retrieve something. So these are just theoretical. If you want to use a post here, it is also fine. There is no any rule book or rule set that you only use a get to retrieve data, but a lot of developers using same mechanism so that we want to work on the same line, same page. So a lot of developer use it. This is just untold or unwritten story that if you want to fetch anything, you must use a get request. If you want to send something, if you want to update something, you can use a post. If you want to update things, you can also use a put. But if you want to send something from one server to other server, suppose you want to send username and password from client to server, you can use a post method. But if you want to update your profile, you can use a put. If you want to delete something, this is very very common. If you want to delete something, use a delete. Patch, head, and options are used right now, but patch and heads are not very frequently used. Maybe not used in Udemy also. So let's filter out that we have patch or not. There is nothing on patch. We have put or not. There is nothing like a put. So we are not performing the put operation like updating something. That's why there is not a put. If we start performing some action, we start finding a put. But when we do we get lot of request which is coming as a get. So this is the URL, these are the header. We can go with one by one header also, so no worry about that. So this is accept header, so it makes sure that you are using which types. I can make it full if you are facing an issue. So now it's become full screen. Now you can see this in more visual way. Let's close this. Fine. So yeah, accept this application slash JSON means it's accept a request in a text and a plain form. This is encoding in zip. These are language which accepted, which is USA English in USA tone or in USA way. Cookies, these are just a cookie we get to authenticate my request to the server. This is a refer. Priority is something like it is a very dynamic. You want to set. If you don't want to, don't set. It is just depend on your business logic, how your logic works. So it's differ in a different case. Yeah, this is a refer means your request coming from which domain. So these are requests, it's coming from where? It is coming from Udemy. So these are the most important. This is also user agent is also important. Here user agent is Mozilla, and my laptop is in Intel Mac OS, something like that, so that it give you more context. My browser is Chrome browser. These are the things which make sense. So there is nothing on body. If request getting a body, if you select a post method, maybe you get a body also. So go to get and change it to post and then open, and you get a body also. Click on the pretty, you find that what is the body. If you want to change anything, if you change, and you can send the request. Same here. If you want to change something, send a request. Not an issue. And now you get a response also. So now you get a response also. In this case, there is no response. Let's go to the get where something response is there. Now send. So we're not figuring it out. There is a history also which we are using that. Suppose these are yeah. So from history you can select that what are the requests which are using in the past. From there you can select the history and start send. You get a response. Now it is already in pretty form, but you can also see in the raw form. You can also see the header, which what are the header used by the response. These are the header which are used by the response, and these are timing. So this is a method of request and response. Let's move to the slide and next. We already discussed about that. There are three parts. There's a request, header, body. We also discuss about, we don't discuss about a status code. Okay, fine. So let's go to the status code once again. Let's move to the status code. So here is status code. The status code is 2x, 3x, 4x, and 5x. What is the meaning of 2xxx, 3xxx, 4xxx, and 5xxx? So basically, most of time you get a 2xxx. I will show you in here. You can see it. A status code is 200. A status code is 24. A status code is 200. Now can you filter out that and find out what is the meaning of status code? A status code means your request reaches to the server and server give you response. Then it's become a status code of 200, 201, 202, something like that. It's a start from 200. If you get a correct response. But what is the meaning of 3x? Is there any request? Yes. Is there any request? 3x mostly apply when your request redirected from one place to another place. Suppose that your request coming from one server and send it to the second server. So there's a redirection. Then it is called 3x. There's a lot of other things, 3x1, 3x2, 301, 302, 303, something like that. But underway line is that it is traveling. It is traveling from one place to other place. It is redirecting from one place to another place. What is 4x? 4x means there is nothing 4x. 4x means you are not getting your API is not responding. There is no API. 404 something like that. There is nothing on that particular endpoint. 404 gateway, 404 error page, something like that. 500x means that your server is not responding. Your server is down. Your server is not responding. Okay, a status code is done, header is done, body is done, everything is done. So ready everywhere twice. Let's talk about who is calling, what is your body, what is enforce that. These are things we can also discuss. But for right now, just move on that. How the cookie and token work. So yeah, let's discuss about that, how the cookie and token works, and how you figure out that these types of issue with the help of HackTool. So first of all, I will try to understand. Try to give some overview of that. What is the cookie? Cookie is just a piece of code which create a bridge between client and server to trust it. So suppose that HTTP is a stateless protocol. So what is the mean by stateless? If you send one request to A to B, after the same A want to send another request, B do not accept that request because it do not remember the previous request. For tackling these types of issue, the developer, the engineer come up the way that we store something which is stored on the client side as well as server side. After that, we come up with a cookie. Cookie is the key which is stored on client side, and every time when a client requests anything to the server check that cookie on their server side, and if that both the cookie match, they give you the response. That is the basic simple use case of cookie in this. Now, how we figure out that client side security is just you don't need to do anything. Just install the hack tool and go on the Udemy or any target you have and just run a scan. If this endpoint have any security issue, security vulnerability, it will automatically highlighted you. Suppose that it giving that potential DOM accesses pattern detected. There is a source and there is a sinks in inline script. So this hack tool figure out that in the request, in the request, or in the JSON file, or in the JavaScript file, anywhere, it found that there is a source and there is a sink. They also found that local storage carry these types of sensitive data, which may be which may be the use case of the udemy.com. I'm not totally said these are the security issue, but these are the potential security issue. There is a missing SCS header. There is no CSP header. There is no XFrame option. There is no CSP header. So these are the things which do not need to dive more and figure out that they have to automatically give you. If you see that this is not a issue, you can just ignore this rule. It automatically ignore you. You don't get any of these types of issue from the next time. Now we come to there is a missing secure flag in the cookie. What is the use case of this secure? There is also one HTTP only. There is also HTTP only. This missing HTTP only. What is the use case of HTTP only? These things you learn in the upcoming session, that what is the use case of secure flag in the cookie, what is this HTTP only flag use case in the cookie. For right now, explaining these secure and HTTP only need another 1 hour to explain these things. So just keeping this in the mind, if cookie do not have a secure flag, if cookie do not have a HTTP only flag, it is a vulnerable to access attack. It is a vulnerable to man in the middle attack. So in the upcoming session, we will figure out that how these are the working behind the scene. Now let's move to the most important topic: how do recon work? What are the things we can do during the recon? What is the reconnaissance? What is the passive recon? What is the active recon? Let's deep dive and try to get a surface level of knowledge about the recon. So there's two types of recon. We already know that. One is passive, one is active, and both are working very well when you try to figure out any issue. So in passive, you do not go a deep dive, not touching something like that, but you're finding something. You're not touching the actual target. You're not scanning the actual target, but you are scanning something different to find the actual target or the actual target. So when you are doing a Google docking, you're not actually touching the Google. Sorry, if your target is udemy.com and you try to figure out Udemy access key, secret key, something suspicious, something sensitive of the Udemy, you're not touching Udemy. You're touching GitHub, you're touching Bitbucket, and try to figure out any sensitive token are by mistake hard coded on the GitHub. In this way, you are figuring out Udemy vulnerability without touching Udemy. That comes under passive attack. You're not actually touching Udemy, but you are finding an issue which impact Udemy. That type of attack is known as passive attack. But what is the active attack? Anything is directly. You are doing brute force attack. You are doing banner grabbing. You are running nuclei. You are doing a port scanning, something like that. That's come under the active attack. And now, what is the targeted attack? Now, in targeted attack, you log into udemy.com, capture all the requests, and downloaded all the requests and send it to the download all the requests from the hack tool and send it to the cloud, and the cloud start scanning, start using your skill which is formed by you. What is the skill? What is the cloud? How these things are working? I will give you the surface level knowledge in the upcoming slide. So these are the tools from where you are start figuring out that passive scanning. So there is a whois tool where you go and figure out that what is the registrar name, or when it's created, something like that. In my case, registrar name is Cloudflare. It is created in this way that things you can. I will try to share you this command. I will try to share these docs which help you in the doing everything manually by yourself. You can take the help from here. You can also use a webback URL. You can use a Sudan. You can use a GitHub, a public code. Use a Google Docking, something like that. You can also try to figure out job posting or LinkedIn, something where you find anything related to the company. Suppose you go on LinkedIn and somebody try to hire a Node.js developer. It means the company use a Node.js. That is a tech enumeration of that particular company. So one question, one tool, one command. So if you want to list all the subdomain, you want the subfinder, nothing else. The subfinder give you prominent result of that. Here I use an example of HackerOne and it lists down all the HackerOne domain. So now if you want to use AMAS give you the DNS graph, ASN, something like that. What is the DNS graph? What is the ANS using? What is the net block? These all things are given by AMAS. Now, by use of DNS, you can also figure out that what is the IP behind that particular domain. This IP is not a correct. Doesn't means it is not a correct IP. Not a correct means that these IP are floating IP. These IP belong to load balancer. Load balancer IP is mostly like a dangling IP, or load balancer IP mostly like a floating IP. You can say that it have subnet IP. So suppose that sometime it give you 104.104.169.9.5.2, sometime we give 5.3, sometime we give 5.4. Last letter start changing every time. This also may happen if it is not a static. So these are the tools we can use to leverage the your recon. Nabu Nabu is basically just like an Nmap, which is used to scan the all the IP, try to figure out any vulnerability on particular IP. Nmap is also for the same use cases. You can figure out that any security vulnerability on the particular IP or the domain also. So in the upcoming session, in the upcoming slide, I will show that how can you all combine this tool and give it to the cloud, so that you do not need to run these tools one by one. You just go on the hack tool and say, hey, start my recon, and automatically start your all these tool automatically and make and give you the result. It do not give you the signal, it give you the result, it will give you the confirm result. Yes, this is my finding and this is 100% true finding. Just go and report it to the HackerOne, to the Bakra, or any platform. So do not panic that I know all these tools, what's next. I will give you the whole path, that how you can travel from enumerating your target to finding a true signal which you can report and earn bounty. So these are the wayback URL. Wayback URL, we all know that it just grab all the unique URL or history from this from their URL or from their domain, subdomain, all these things. Katna is just scan and figure out that which are useful for me. That JS file are full API which are never exposed on the internet. It scan those API also. It scan all JS file also. This is the fudging. Just your word list, start fudging one by one and figure out that. So when you start fudging with the help of cloud or hack tool, it will give you insight also. If you find, if fudge give you 200, and that in that 200 the response contains zero, sensitive information, the cloud do not count it as a finding. It say yes, this is a finding, but it contain do not any important information on sensitive information. So the cloud discard it, hack tool discard it and say no, it is not a finding, it is just a noise. Nuclei, you all know about what is nuclei. So nuclei scan your target on the basis of their pattern or on the basis of their a script. And if when you get a script or when you get a script or result from the nuclei, then cloud run their all skill and figure out that these findings are true positive or not. So you don't need to validate the finding of the recon. You just see, is HackTool giving you right, is cloud or HackTool giving you signal as a positive signal or a false signal. Truffle log basically scan the secret in the Git. Now the most important thing, HackTool cloud will be scan your unauthenticated request, the request which do not have a auth token. How will you scan it when you have auth token? The scanning is required auth token. How will you do that? In that, nobody can help you. Bob also do not help you. Burp also have a MCP, but which is not very close to HackTool. In this place, HackTool really work very well. Your all requests which are in the browser are directly sent to the cloud, and you start and cloud start your all the attack or all the top 10 OSCP attack on your terminal. So how can we do that? I will show you. So suppose that, let's remove this. Let's all status. Now you have this one. Now you know that every request is a authenticate request. Go and select all and send to download. It all the you requested get downloaded. Suppose that there is already this request get downloaded, so it's save on download. Now move here and copy the download path. Let's go copy the download path, and this file contain everything which you want. Now here, this is my cloud. Let's open new session here. This is my cloud. And I already created my honor skill, and just paste here and say ki, hey, start finding security issue. That's it. Just click on enter and HackTools start finding out issue. HackTools start finding you security issue. I will show that what I'm doing previously. So look at this. HackTool automatically give me that data WAF is blocking curl, even the cookie is there. It also give me a finding. I will show that. Just give me a finding. Direct internal lab FB, no direct internal server error, DNS block or connection failed. It giving me a response also. Check your meta SSRF. Now this is blocking SRF. It giving me one finding on Facebook also. So it's working very fine when you start using HackTool with your cloud. When you connect your HackTool with cloud, it's work. It's give you a lot of bounty. It's working very tremendously great with the HackTool and cloud. Let's move to slide where it is. So anything else? I already go. So then the biggest question is that Burp is a great. There's no any question about that. Burp is not working very well. But there's a lot of demerit in a Burp also. First of all, if you want to install a Burp, you have to install Java app. You have to configure the proxy. You have to install the CS certificate per device. These are the things you have to set up initially when you start using Burp Suite. Second, when you start using Burp Suite, HTTPS traffic are not configured, not intercept. So you have to do a self-signed CS certificate on your OS Trust Store. Second, if you want to relog in through proxy juggling session cookie, fight with SSO redirect also. So in AI, nothing on Bob. There is no any way to copy and paste it to the LLM URL, something like that. Download, if you want to download any of the request, suppose that in Bob you have a 10 to 20 in request which you want to download. There is no any feature, but in Bob, but in HackTool, if you want to install 10 to 15 requests, you can choose all 10 to 15 and install it. Sorry, download it. There is no limitation to download one request or 100 requests. You can do that. Second, Burp is a costly. Burp is a costly for a beginner. Burp is a costly for Indian student. Burp is a costly for everyone which is in India. 700 $475, which is quite to 40 or 45,000, which is very high in India. On the other hand, HackTool is just free. You just want to go install in your Chrome and start using that. What feature we are giving? For right now, we only support Chrome extension, so we do not have on other platform like Firefox, something like that. You just go to the Chrome and start installing that. You don't need any certificate. You don't need man in the middle. No warning, nothing. You just log in. You capture the cookie. You capture the live cookie, SSRF token, everything. There's also AI assist panel which will help you to figure out which endpoint you want to test. That endpoint give you more result. These are the AI which are talking about that. Suppose that this request is captured. Now AI will help you that on which parameter, on which parameter you will able to find that which types of attack. Suppose that you can find of SQL injection on a product ID. You can find you can find a SQL injection on info level. Where you find IDOR, you can find IDOR on somewhere else, on something like that, product type or quantity, something like that. So it give you a realistic approach for any target. You not blindly go and inserting a payload to every query or every endpoint, so that you can some magic will happen. You will start finding issue. These types of behavior never work. You never find any security issue and just get frustrated and switch off your laptop. So do not do that. Every time go with a bug hunting, go with any sort of planning. So these are my HackTool interface, something like that. We already saw you. What is the proxy, repeater, intruder? These are the things. So yeah. So how HackTool capture and send it to that? So there is a browser, HackTool capture your all requests, your response, everything that we send it to cloud, and cloud has hack skill. I have my private hack skill. Hack skill is something like that. Hacking skill is something like that. You instruct the cloud to start the scanning in this way. These are the format to start scanning. Suppose that I will show you the hacking skill. So this is the hacking skill look like. Hacking skill, cloud.md file, a skill of the clouds, all are same. That's same. Right now for understanding, I'm making I write hacking skill. So what is the hacking skill? How it look like? Hacking skill just like is there is any number or a guessable ID in the path or a body, try this like this. So these are the instructions which I already given to the cloud to do that. If you find any ID, start doing these things. If you find any input surface, start putting this. Start putting this. Start putting. If you find any content type like application JSON, changes to the www form URL encoding. So these types of instruction when you give to your cloud, that's known as a skill.md file, cloud.md file. For now, for us, hacking.skill.md file. So these things are created by yourself, or you can take help from GitHub. There are a lot of skills are available there. So these are the same thing, nothing different. This skill is for IDOR. Same replay attack, nothing else. If you do the hand to write up, just cool. So yeah, if you want to start hacking on any domain, get a permission, take a permission, document the scope. Do not start doing a DOS attack directly on that domain. Make sure that the responsible guy uh, or the domain owner should aware about that you are doing scanning on their surface or scanning their scope. So how will you get updated? Always read a book, always go on LinkedIn, follow the people who are in the same domain, try to learn every day something, try to use a tool, try to create a tool which make other uh, bug bounty hunter or cybersecurity engineer life easy. So before giving thanks, let's show you more hack tool feature. So now there is an intruder also. So when you want to force this, you can directly go and send it to intruder. Now you come into this page, and if you want to fudge this surface, you just enter any number, first of $2 between any number, and select the payload. For right now, this is also only number. So now we select from 1 to 100, and speed. You can also set a concurrency. I will set it 1 second, and I start the tag. So we get a result also. So these are the so this is a very basic thing. In a Bob suit, you must need a license for that, but in a hack tool, it is free. It is a decoder, something like you have to encode and decode, which is very much similar. Right now it is just encode. Okay, so this encoding and decoding is working here. So now I want to decode this. There is a copy button, you can click on copy, and now you can decode it. Now you're able to decode this. Suppose that I write, please use hack tools and encode it. Now I want to decode it. So you can encode it. Sorry, and didn't decode it. Yeah, it's working. Now scanner, we already talk about the scanner. This is a client side security scan. So and anything which is loading on the client side, it automatically get scanned and you get a result. This is a tech detector. So what is do? Detect the tech which are using. So they are using Cloudflare. They are using Express for backend. They are Google Analytics for analytics. They are using a Next.js for front end. They are using a server known as Nginx. They're using a React for a front end. This help you to chain other issue with the help of that. There's also a secret scanner. So right now it scan all the secret in your file and give you the insight. So right now we find out that JS.strippy used this secret. This secret is basically Google API key. If I'm not wrong, this is I'm not sure about that, but it looks like a Google API key. I will make it confirm. Give me a second. Google path, secret type, not giving. So yeah, this is a Google API key. This is a Google API key. When you try to figure out it is a correct answer or not, just copy this, go to the Google, that is click, find this JS file. Now copy this key. Now go to where and find this. You able to find this key. Yeah, this is a valid key. This is a valid key, but is this a vulnerable to any attack? You have to figure out that. You have to go and deep down. You have to use that. It is a valid because it is using a Google user content, something like that. So it is a valid finding, but it is exploitable or not. You have to go and figure out that. You have to dip down. You have to dig down to figure out that it is a really issue or not. So yeah, that's it for me. So I already said that you can also download one by one. So there is a feature you can download. If you want to download one, you can download one. If you can download multiple, just click here and download 3. So these are the features available on HackTool. Okay. Anything else I need to discuss? No, nothing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sachin sir, for the session. Let's move the question answers. Everyone, please drop your questions in the chat section. Yes, Bhavna, the recording will be given to you. It will be live on YouTube. Um, as the session and till then, we can just start with the quiz. If how secure is Satish sir, how secure is your extension and is it open source?
Yes. Who asked? Name?
And just anonymous name.
Okay, cool. So yeah, those who ask, yes, it is very secure. I already scanned it with Cloud Code. Already scanned it with Snake. We have an internal team which do a code review also, and it is a open source. You can also contribute on that. I hope somebody from this chat, somebody from this session, start contributing on this open source platform. It is totally free for everybody who want to use it. We really want to work on this very hard. I want our aim is to replace this tool with a Bob suit. So yeah, let me know who want to help you. I will provide you access for that.
One more thing, if you just do good in the assignments and submit them timely, we can also provide you internship at our organization.
Any question? Please ask. I'm waiting. I want to answer you.
Anyone? No problem with the camera. He has done it. We will be providing you the link. We'll do our best. Is it paid internship? And depending on your performance, we will decide it later on.
Yeah, I see one chat. Can you explain the cloud inspection scan once again? Sorry for that. We have a limited time. That's why we don't go much deep in that. But in future, we will reconnect you and make a large session, especially on the cloud code, how to use a cloud, how to use a cloud for your for initial scanning, how to use cloud for your phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 scanning, phase 1, phase 2, just like so I'm looking at state, but my camera is this way. I'm looking on my monitor, so don't confuse on that. Laptop is here, my screen is here. That's why I'm seeing on the screen. So yeah, so we will connect, we will reconnect once again, and we will come back with a big session, especially on cloud and how to leverage LN model in today era.
Uh, once the application of the internship will be from our side, we will be shortlisting yours. We are sharing the link for the quiz. You can just start. The link has been shared, but you can just ask the question. Speaker is still here waiting for the questions. The QR is visible on the screen. It will be live for only 15 minutes. So please fill the form as soon as possible. I don't think you have any doubt any further. Repeating about the assignment structure, you will be getting 1 week for the to submit the assignment. The Google form will be shared with you on the groups. And I repeat, only the registered emails will be allowed to solve the lab. No other email will be allowed. So use that email only for the whole 4 weeks. And the eligibility criteria for the certification is 75% attendance. So that is three out of four attendance quizzes and 3 out of 4 assignments. Both are compulsory. Okay. So uh, thank you, Sachin sir, for the session. As the like we don't have any doubts, I think we can just conclude with the session. The QR will be live for another 5 minutes. You can just appear in the quiz. Thank you. Hello, Sachin sir. Are you there?
Yeah, I got a one question. Uh, During the surface mapping, do we systematically discover the hidden point or API that are not visible in the front end using tool like Burp? Yes. So these types of attack surface is a most gold mine for any bug bounty hunter or cyber security engineer. So what we can do that we can start finding these types of endpoint from JS file itself. So some fudging is not a great way to finding a hidden endpoint. uh, Fudging give you result which is a traditionally endpoint. Suppose something like slash dot endpoint slash dot uh, some predefined endpoint which is available on every server like Apache server or every server. But when some developer design their own endpoint, we can't do a fudging and figure out that particular endpoint. Sometimes we can succeed that, but that percentage is very low. Suppose that you are running a fudging 100 time and you get succeed 1 or 2 time, that do not add any value in your recon process or in your bug bounty process. So what we can do, we can go with a traditional, not a traditional way, we can go with a uh, in a future way or in AI way. So what AI does or what cloud does, so suppose you give a target, suppose you give a target.com or vulnerable.net. So now the AI which follow your skill.md file which I already shown in the session, in that it start scanning all the JS file, it load all the JS file and try to figure out that is any their endpoint which is not public but it is hard coded in the JS file. In that way you can figure out that lot of gold mine from the JS file. So try to as much as go deep when you find any JS file. That JS file may be a runtime JS file or a static JS file. So one of the great feature in my hack tool is also that if there is any runtime JS file, it will also scan and find the secret in that. But this feature is not available in Bob Suite or any other traditional tool.
Okay, everyone, please make sure to fill the form by 8:50 Indian Standard Time. We will be closing at sharp 50. Please. Uh, so the time is up for the quiz, and we will just conclude with the session. Thank you, Sachin sir. Thank you, team CSI and Vulnshields, for this wonderful session. Hope you all like it. Please share it, and do not forget to submit the assignment on time. If you face any issues, just contact the group admins, and they will help you out with this. Thank you all.